Poet is priest. Money has reckoned the soul of America. Congress broken through to the precipice of eternity. The president built a war machine which will vomit and rear up Russia out of Kansas. The American century betrayed by a mad Senate which no longer sleeps with its wife. Franco has murdered Lorca, the fairy son of Whitman, just as Mayakovsky committed suicide to avoid Russia. Hart Crane, distinguished Platonist, committed suicide to cave in the wrong America, just as millions of tons of human wheat were burned in secret caverns under the White House, while India starved and screamed and ate mad dogs full of rain, and mountains of eggs were reduced to white powder in the halls of Congress. No God-fearing man will walk there again because of the stink of the rotten eggs of America. And the Indians of Chiapas continue to gnaw their vitaminless tortillas. Aborigines of Australia perhaps gibber in the eggless wilderness, and I rarely have an egg for breakfast, though my work requires infinite eggs to come to birth in eternity. Eggs should be eaten or given to their mothers. And the grief of the countless chickens of America is expressed in the screaming of her comedians over the radio. Detroit has built 1,000,000 automobiles of rubber trees and phantoms, but I walk, and the Orient walks with me, and all Africa walks. And sooner or later, North America will walk. As far as we have driven the Chinese angel from the door, he will drive us from the golden door of the future. We have not cherished pity on Tanganyika. Einstein alive was mocked for his heavenly politics. Bertrand Russell driven from New York for getting laid, and the immortal Chaplin has been driven from our shores with the rose in his teeth. A secret conspiracy by Catholic Church in the lavatories of Congress has denied contraceptives to the unceasing masses of India. Nobody publishes a word that is not the cowardly robot ravings of a depraved mentality. The day of the publication of the true literature of the American body will be the day of revolution. The revolution of the sexy lamb. The only bloodless revolution that gives away corn. Poor Janae will illuminate the harvesters of Ohio. Marijuana is a benevolent narcotic, but J. Edgar Hoover prefers his deathly scotch. And the heroine of Lao Tzu and the sixth patriarch is punished by the electric chair, but the poor sick junkies have nowhere to lay their heads. Fiends in our government have invented a cold turkey cure for addiction as obsolete as the defense early warning radar system. I am the defense early warning radar system. I see nothing but bombs. I am not interested in preventing Asia from being Asia, and the governments of Russia and Asia will rise and fall, but Asia and Russia will not fall. How can America fall? I doubt if anyone will ever fall anymore except governments. Fortunately, all the governments will fall. The only ones which won't fall are the good ones, and the good ones don't exist yet. But they have to begin existing. They exist in my poems. They exist in the death of the Russian and American governments. They exist in the death of Hart Crane and Mayakovsky. Now is the time for prophecy without death as a consequence. The universe will ultimately disappear. Hollywood will rot on the windmills of eternity. Hollywood, whose movies stick in the throat of God. Yes, Hollywood will get what it deserves. Time. Seepage of nerve gas over the radio. History will make this poem prophetic in its awful silliness. I have the moan of doves and the feather of ecstasy. Man cannot long endure the hunger of the cannibal abstract. War is abstract. The world will be destroyed, but I will die only for poetry, and that will save the world. Monument to Sacco and Vanzetti, not yet financed. Natives of Kenya tormented by idiot con men from England. South Africa in the grip of the white fool. Vachel Lindsay, Secretary of the Interior. Poe, Secretary of Imagination. Van Gogh's ear on the currency. No more propaganda for monsters, and poets should stay out of politics or become monsters. I have become monstrous with politics. The Russian poet undoubtedly monstrous in his secret notebook. Tibet should be left alone. These are obvious prophecies. Russian poets will struggle with Russia. Whitman warned against this fable damned of nations. Where was Theodore Roosevelt when he sent out ultimatums from the castles in Camden? Where was the House of Representatives when Crane read aloud from his prophetic books? What was Wall Street scheming when Lindsay announced the doom of money? Were they listening to my ravings in the locker rooms of Bickford's employment offices? Did they bend their ears to the moans of my soul when I struggled with market research statistics in the Forum at Rome? No, they were fighting in fiery offices, on carpets of heart failure, screaming and bargaining with destiny, fighting the skeleton with sabers, muskets, buck teeth, indigestion, bombs of larceny, whoredom, rockets, back to the wall to build up their wives and apartments, lawns, suburbs, fairiedoms. Puerto Ricans crowded for massacre on 114th Street for the sake of an imitation Chinese modern refrigerator. Elephants of Mercy murdered for the sake of an Elizabethan birdcage. Millions of agitated fanatics in the bug house for the sake of the screaming soprano of industry. Money chant of soapers. Toothpaste apes in television sets. Deodorizers on hypnotic chairs, petroleum mongers in Texas, jet plane streaks among the clouds, skyriders, liars in the face of divinity, fanged butchers of hats and shoes, all owners, owners, owners with obsession on property and vanishing selfhood. And their long editorials on the fence of the screaming Negro attacked by ants crawled out of the front page. Machinery of a mass electrical dream, a war-creating whore of Babylon bellowing over capitals and academies. Money, 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 shrieking, mad, celestial money of illusion, money made of nothing, starvation, suicide, money of failure, money of death, money against eternity. Strong mills grind out vast paper of illusion.